Hello there, my name is Edwin Nelson. I'm here to record a video for my applying a framework for ethical decision making. This relates to assessment activity 1.1. So there are three steps that I need to undertake in order to complete the task. The first thing that I need to do is I need to explain my own decision. So I'll just refer to my set of fact scenario. Now, the conclusion that I've come to is that after weighing all of the relevant evidence, I think that I have to comply with my client's instructions to draft the required bit of information. The conflict that I had relating to this was that the potential of breaching client confidentiality and reporting the matter to the police separately on the basis that I've become aware of a crime that has been created. And the question that I was asking myself was, based upon the values that I have as a solicitor, am I forced to report this matter to the police when I discover a crime, or am I bound to maintain my client's confidentiality? And weighing up those two different factors. So the relevant facts are that we have a situation where my client's uncle has effectively taken out a mortgage against my client's estate. He seems to have the certificate of title. The client's uncle also appears to be a solicitor as well in this matter. So there are a number of alternatives that I have. I can report the matter to the police myself. I can get an equivalent mortgage over the properties held by Craven. I can inform Westpac of the forward signature but request that no further action be taken against Craven. My client could forgive the debt. I could have some sort of situation whereby Craven arranges for my client to get a car. All of these are possibilities that are contingent upon discussing the matter with my client and establishing further facts. There are a lot of long-term and short-term potential consequences. It's possible that we're not able to raise the money. It's possible that either ABC Finance or Westpac reports the matter to the police separately as well. There's also questions concerning Craven's ability to practice as a solicitor. I think he's only an executor, but it's a matter that needs to be examined in terms of his executor capacity relating to the estate as well, and getting that put aside. So that'll be something that I need to consult with my client about. And also considering the fact that Craven's son Marcus is sharing accommodation with Daniel, and the problems that would arise were Marcus to discover about this matter, which is more than likely over the long term. So the values that I represent, I believe that I have three main duties. I have a duty to protect my client's confidentiality, to preserve the public interest, to ensure that justice is done. First duty is always to the court. Under what circumstances am I required to report matters? Well, that's usually where a situation of a crime is such that it might potentially put someone in danger, or whereby I'd be committing a crime within myself in the fact that I'd be entering some sort of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Now, so those are the factors that I need to weigh up as to what sort of solicitor I want to be. Well, I want to maintain my client's confidentiality, and I want to ensure that I don't bring the legal profession into disrepute. So, step 4, comprehensive assessment. As I stated beforehand, I think that I do have to actually act upon this matter. The question I ask myself is, what happens if I refuse to act for Daniel on the basis that he asks me to draw up the deed and I'm unable to do so? Well, it leaves Daniel in a situation where he potentially has no legal representation, and in a situation which is potentially untenable. It's not desirable for the legal profession as a whole. There's also no risk to another party, and based upon that, I don't think that I am under a requirement to report the matter to the police. It would also establish a very proud precedent if every time a client came to a solicitor and sort of told them about these sort of wrongdoings, that they might be getting family members in trouble, which would get in the way of people seeking legal advice from solicitors. So that's undesirable from a public policy perspective. So obviously I do my best to inform my client of all of the situations, explain to him the advantage of bringing something like this to the police, explain to him the possible outcomes that he could arrive at, and some of the various different risks, and give him the best advice I possibly can, and explain some of the risks as well that are associated with these areas. But I have to accept that it's ultimately my client's decision to manage this matter, not my own, because it doesn't fall into the various exceptions where a lawyer is entitled to breach confidentiality. Comparing my assessment very quickly to the other students' analysis, I can definitely say that the other students' analysis was perhaps better structured than me. They were better able to outline their processes behind the decision making. They didn't perhaps consider all of the contingencies, all of the possibilities of other outcomes that someone else could have arrived at, although certainly they were a lot clearer. They had similar values that they identified to me as well, and beyond that there was relative similarity. They also concluded that they needed to have to draw up the clauses for their client, although I don't think they considered as many of the potential alternatives. They were quite specific in terms of what the deed that they draw up with and some of the caveats that they'd have in there, so they've interpreted the question a little bit differently to me. Finally, where in practice I might have obtained assistance in making my decision, well, I could have consulted another lawyer, I could have consulted an expert, I could have consulted the legal profession, and that effectively explains my decision. Thank you.